Tad, where you at? Tad,
Hi,
you present.
see me?
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and shift
Re-
this because
Ready for you?
it's nice to have someone else do the talking. I'm going to shift this over to Tad, who's going to introduce our CD10 candidates. Each candidate will have about 2 minutes to kind of speak, and the actual endorsement vote will be via election buddy, so it won't happen like live, but I will pass it on to you, Tad. I will go ahead and give you a little pin there so people can see you.
Thank you
I'll
very
do the
much, Vice
pinning and all that.
President Harris. Everybody, am I on? Can you hear me all? Yep. Thank you, Vice President. Hello, Culver City Democrats, and hello, City Council candidates. I am Tad Daley, and I would like to just take a minute to explain why we are doing what we are about to do. And to do so, I would like to talk about me. I live in, I'm an active member of the Culver City Democrats, as many of you know, for several years now, but I live in Council District 10, Baldwin Hills, Village Green. But nevertheless, I live a good chunk of my life in Culver City. I buy my cat food in Culver City. And then a week later, I drive back when the finicky cat says, I don't like that flavor. You got to buy me a new flavor. I get my car repaired in Culver City, and because I drive an old jalopy, I'm doing that more often than I would like to. I sing karaoke in Culver City at the Scarlet Lady. I hope all of you will come and hear me croon. And I went through that because that is true of many of my neighbors in Village Green and in Baldwin Hills. And the same, I think, is true vice versa. Many people who live in Culver City live chunks of their life, not only in the Council District 10 of the city of Los Angeles, but more broadly in the city of Los Angeles. So obviously, the issues are very related to each other. And as Vice President Harris said, we border. CD10 is the border, shares the border with Culver City. So when I, a couple months ago, suggested to the honchos of the club that we invite the CD10 candidates, they immediately agreed, and we are delighted to have you all. I am not going to introduce anyone individually or say anything individually. I really want to leave you, the candidates, to do that. But there is just one single fact about this race that I think it's really important for everyone to know. And I know that Councilwoman Heather Hutt will appreciate me getting this out on the table. We have 5 candidates running for this seat, and I think all 5 of us are with us tonight. One of them is, in fact, the current city council member. That is Heather Hutt. But it's crucial that everybody recognize that Heather Hutt was appointed to the seat, not elected to the seat. 4 years ago, Mark Ridley Thomas, in my view, a great public servant in the city and county of Los Angeles for the last 30 years. He ran into some legal troubles, and so had to resign, and Heather was appointed to the seat. So it's a bit of a funny race. It's not the same as an open seat as we traditionally think about that, but it's certainly also not the same as an elected incumbent running for re-election. So that is the one kind of factoid that I wanted to get out on the table. We have 5 candidates with us tonight, and I corresponded with all 5 of them, and they said they would be here, and I'm delighted about it. And one thing I didn't think about until this minute is what order we should go in. So I am going to say we're going to go in first name, reverse alphabetical order, just to pick something. And that means that Reggie Jones Sawyer, if Reggie is here, or a representative, I would like to go first. And then final thing, Vice President Harris, you and I didn't talk about this, but let's just let all 5 candidates speak to us for a few minutes. And then if we have some questions and if we have some time remaining, then we can open it up to the floor.
Yeah,
So is Reggie here with us, or a representative?
I do not see Reggie here. Is anyone here like on
Yeah, I don't either.
Okay. Well,
any representative of Reggie here?
Maybe he may come later. We'll check.
So okay, so let me just say, I know that the other 4 candidates are here.
Okay.
Just for the record, I did correspond with Team Reggie, and I got 2 emails signed by Team Reggie that said that Reggie would be here tonight. So maybe Reggie will show up, maybe not. But why don't we move on then?
Yes.
And given my reverse alphabetical order by first name, that means that Heather Hutt has the floor.
Okay. I will add a pin. There we go. Or actually, sorry, let me do that. There we go. Okay. And
Thank you so much.
a 2-minute timer here.
Do you have it? Will I see
do.
it on the screen? Ah, very good. Thank you.
Mhm.
Good evening, Democrats. I'm Heather Hutt. I'm currently the voting member selected to represent the 10th District. I'm from Los Angeles. I'm from the 10th District, born and raised. When I came home from the hospital, it was Lamert Park. Then I lived at Olympic and Hauser. And now I'm here very close to you, Ted, very close to Village Green. I certainly was asked to take on this position, and working in government as a career and serving the people for over 30 years, that's exactly what I did. Stepped up to the plate and hit the ground running, because there was work that needed to be done in a district that there was a disinvestment in for so many years. We went through pandemic. We went through some situations where there was no voting member. And when I was asked to do this and would be able to have 100% voting, that's what I did. I want you to know that I am a single mom. I raised my 3 children here in the 10th District. I go to church here in the 10th District. And I work really hard to make sure that resources in Los Angeles can be utilized for folks in the 10th District. Of course, homeless is our #1 issue, and I've been working on that and been able to house hundreds of people right here in the 10th District that were not housed before. I have data that backs up that, and I will tout that every single time because I'm proud of the work that I've been able to do. We've also been able to do so much cleanup. You know, we had a trash problem in CD10, and I've been able to use a rapid response team to do the cleanup, as well as been able to do street tree trimming that hadn't been done for almost 10 years, pothole fixing, although we know we have some now. And I will continue to do that work. That's why I'm running for this seat, and I'm asking you for your vote.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Heather Hutt. And again, reverse alphabetical. I just made that up. We had to come up with some order. So I got, and it looks like everyone else is here. So unless Reggie shows up, and Grace Yoo is here, and you have the floor, Grace Yoo.
Okay, hold on for 1 second. Sorry. Grace. Okay, there we are. And then I'll start the timer for you now. Go ahead.
Good evening, Culver City Democrats. I'm Grace Yoo. I'm an attorney, a former LA City Commissioner, and a community leader for decades here. I may look young, but I'm in my early 50s. I say it's clean living and not having in-laws to deal with their children that keeps me looking relatively young. I'm an activist. I'm someone who actually had to sue the city 3 separate times to get things done. One was to save the environment, save the trees. I mean, can you imagine? I had to sue the city to get them to do the right thing. Instead of cutting them the trees to fix the sidewalk, I said, we should save the trees. And unfortunately, we had to go to court for the general planning person to come back and say, oh, you're right, this general manager for sidewalk repairs. It was just ridiculous. That's not the organization name right now. It escapes me. The second lawsuit was to have the city follow zoning laws. For 10 years, the city had said, we're not going to allow a 27-story building on this residential street. But after $1 million to the mayor's fund and $250,000 to the local city elected officers account, it was a green light. And you know that wasn't right. And so, of course, I won that one as well. I am that kind of person. I am willing to put my time and energy into things that matter. And really, democracy, accountability, it is so important. And I would love to be able to do right by the residents and business owners of CD10. And that's why I continue to run and believe this will be the third time is the winning time. So thank you.
Thanks so much, Grace. Appreciate it.
Well done, Grace Yoo. Thank you very much, Grace Yoo. Just a quick note. I'm having computer problems, so I'm on my phone. So it's not as easy for me to look at the chat and the participants. So if Reggie shows up, would somebody let me know? Otherwise, I think we will move on to the other two candidates remaining, Eddie Anderson and Aura Vasquez. And that means that Eddie, please take the floor.
I will spotlight
Eddie Anderson.
There we go. And you've got 2 minutes. Go ahead. Starting now.
Good evening, Democrats. My name is Pastor Eddie Anderson. I'm the senior pastor of McCarty Moore Christian Church in your neighbor. I live at Washington and Hauser, which is literally the same street as Culver City. And I understand what it means to love your neighbor as you love yourself. I organize for LA Voice, and so I help your now mayor, my thumb and sister, Yasmin and Freddie, figure out how to do alternatives to incarceration in Culver City. And I'm running because I believe every single person in our district deserves a voice to fight poverty, not the poor, to reimagine what public safety truly looks like, and to reinvest in our community and democracy across CD10. I'm one who is an activist. I've been a commissioner. I've helped create coordination systems that the city is now implementing to fight homelessness, around how to also shift over $1 billion in the county and city budget to make sure that the people on the streets, the people who are close to the pain, people who are renters like me, and 70% of our district is renters, actually can make it in our city. But I want not to wait. And so in 2020, I created Partnership for Growth Los Angeles, the first Black and Jewish Community Development Corporation. We partnered with Assembly Member Isaac Bryan, who appointed me as a delegate for the Democratic Party in Congresswoman Cindy Kamalaga to invest $8 million into our community. That includes some parts of Culver City because we do it for the entire 37th congressional district. We're creating 37 urban farms to make sure people have food on their table, and we have a grocery store in CD10, so you don't always got to drive to Culver City, as much as I love Culver City as well. We invested in our youth, and every year we have 92% retention rate to make sure that our young people have somewhere to go to school and get a job on the back end as well. I believe that we can actually make a change in CD10, that we don't have to settle for the status quo, and that we can do it with our neighbors. And what happens in CD10 is good for Culver City as well. What happens in Culver City is good for CD10. I hope that I can get your vote, because what's in your hand tonight is democracy.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I will.
Thank you, Eddie, very much. And once again, I say, unless Reggie has shown up, there is one candidate remaining of the four who are with us tonight, and that is Aura Vasquez. And Aura, we'd love to hear from you.
There we go. And I will start your timer, Aura, right now.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Aura Vasquez, and I stand before you as a community organizer, the former youngest LADWP commissioner, and a proud neighborhood council representative. I arrived to this country with my family at age 18 in the 90s. I'm an Afro-Colombian, a former undocumented student, and the first college graduate in my family. My parents, despite never finishing high school, installed in me the importance of giving back to our community. My father was a janitor and helped establish his union with SEIU, and in a similar vein, I have worked to unionize my colleagues. I decided to run for city council because, like many of you, I'm fed up with the trash in our streets, homelessness, the high cost of housing, and politicians who prioritize their interests over our communities. It is time for change, guys, and for a voice that genuinely cares about working families, the domestic workers who rely on public transit to get to work, the nurses fighting for fair wages, and the hotel workers forced to sleep in their cars.
You're my screen. Opening other screens too. I'm sorry to barge in.
Tad, what was that?
Well, it might have been my phone, it might have been Aura, but she was frozen on my screen, and I would never jump in like that. But
Oh,
did Aura freeze for other
no,
people?
it was your phone.
Then I really apologize then, Aura.
So Ara,
Don't
we'll give
worry,
you back
Ted.
30. I'll give you back.
Very
30
sorry. Please
seconds.
continue and get a little bit more time. Sorry about that.
All right. So,
Sorry.
all right. So I think it's time for change, and it's time for us to, to bring voices that genuinely care for, for our community. As our city faces, critical challenges, I have organized a march alongside many of you, fighting for environmental justice, affordable housing, and equal opportunities for all. And in the face of the recent scandals, I am committed to honesty, transparency, and accountability. So, our city is evolving, and our diversity is our strength, and our unity is our power. So I'm very committed to working with the beautiful, diverse community of District 10. And my campaign is fighting for higher wages, for more housing, from improved infrastructure, job creation, and the respect we all in District 10 deserve. Thank you so much for considering me as your partner in this journey for a better leg, and I hope that I can count on your vote tonight.
Thank you.
Aura, thank you very much. Again, my apologies for jumping in. You were frozen on my screen and I wasn't quite sure what to do, but thank you for soldiering through. So, Madam Vice President, we've heard from 4 candidates. Reggie Jones Sawyer has not joined us, and it's 7:50. I certainly think we've got some time to open the floor, and see if any of our members want to ask questions of anybody. Does that sound good to you, Vice President Harris?
Actually, I want to make sure we had another DNC member that was supposed to join. So I'm just double checking to see if they arrived, because that's why I kind of was squeezing time a little bit. Deborah Cunningham was supposed to be greeting us today. But I do not see her here.
Yeah, Gina, I don't see her either.
No, okay. I was gonna say, I just wanted to be sure. I don't see Deborah Cunningham, because I know Jeff reached out to me. And by the way, Jeff couldn't be here because he is actually, I believe, performing today. But I don't see Deborah Cunningham here. So if anyone has any, a question for the candidates, we do have a little time, but I do want to try to keep the meeting on time. So I don't want to get too out there on questions, but maybe we can take a question or two if anyone has questions for any of the CD10 candidates. I see you guys dropping your info in the chat. So please, if you want any more information regarding the candidates that spoke to us, please, see the chat with, they've dropped their links to their websites and campaign info. Paula.
Hi, everyone. I don't have a question. I just wanted to express my endorsement for Aura for her candidacy for District 10. I had the pleasure of meeting her in 2017 when she was the board at the DWP board member there. And recently we shared a giveaway for children at the Three Kings Day. And I just want to say something about District 10. It's 42% Latino, 49% Latino, and 42% foreign born. And Aura's leadership is not just valuable, it's essential. And I hope you join me in voting for Aura. Thank you, everybody, for all the other candidates. You all seem to be great leaders, and I wish you good luck.
Thank you, Paula. Michelle, I saw that you had your hand up, but it went back down. Did you?
Yeah, I just wanted to know if any of the candidates wanted to say what their plan is for making sure there are dedicated bus and bike lanes in CD10.
Me.
Oh, okay. I see Aura, you raised your hand. Pastor Eddie, you raised your hand. Grace raised their hand. And Heather, would you like to respond to that too about bike lanes? And then if we have a time after this response, we'll take one more question, but after that, we'll move on to the business portion of our program. So we'll start with, where'd you go, Aura? Okay.
I'm right here. Pedestrian safety is extremely important to me, and I'm a bicycle rider myself. I, in fact, don't have a car. At the beginning of the pandemic, I give up my car and I drive a moped. A lot of you have seen me probably in my Vespa riding around. I don't only do that because it's great for traffic, it's great for the environment, and it's also great on gas. I share this experience because I'm a foreign born. I was born in Colombia, and in Colombia, we always riding bicycles. My mom is over 60 years old. She never have driven a car. She always ride her bicycle. You know, so for me, ciclovia, for example, the idea comes from Colombia. So I'm very committed to continue building more dedicated bike lanes so that pedestrian safety is key, is actually save lives. We see in West Adams, for example, in the Adams Boulevard, I was instrumental to help people in the community to work with Metro to make sure that this was happening. The same with dedicated bike lane, bus lanes. I believe that public transit, if we make it more robust, we make it safe, we make it more reliable, it can be a great way to get people off their cars, save money, get them closer to work, and also help us reduce pollution, which also is a huge burden to communities of color all over, you know, Los Angeles, not just in District 10. So sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I was just trying to limit time first. We have so many hands up, but thank you so much. Okay, then on to Pastor Eddie.
Yes, thanks for the question, Michelle. So pedestrian safety is very important to me. So I would just let you know that as a pastor, I've seen at least 5 people get killed by cars in front of my church. Right. And so what I've done in response to that has been organizing the neighborhood around. And so I'm a coalition kind of guy, coalition candidates. I work with neighbors, no matter where they're from. And we've been trying to also get more bike lanes, first and last mile bike lanes into our community, extending bus lanes as well in our neighborhood, and getting more crosswalks so people can cross the street. I think one death is too much, but we continue to see it. And unfortunately, the last 3 times someone's been killed, members from my church have gone out to the street to try to resuscitate people in the middle of the street. And so I know what that trauma is for our community, and I see it all the time. We have a preschool at my school. The majority of our parents ride their bikes to and from the school. And so it's very much important to us to do that and to make sure we're extending those bus lanes, extending those bike lanes, and putting pedestrian safety first in our communities so we have a livable and walkable community. So that's what I will be doing, dedicated task force and actually implementing Vision Zero, because it's a joke right now in LA City.
Thank you, Pastor Eddie. Okay, then Grace, then Heather, and then Disa will come to you.
You know, the importance of dedicated bike lanes and bus lanes are critical and something that I have been supportive of, especially because of the fact that CD10 has had more transportation related deaths. So traffic accidents on West Adams, on Venice, on Washington, Jefferson, it's been a nightmare. And so besides the dedicated bike lanes, I've also said we need the roundabouts on the smaller streets, not the huge westbound, northbound, eastbound kind of roads, but also like the smaller streets, say 29th and 28th, just north of Jefferson, where people are literally driving 90 miles per hour and mowing down people and causing fatalities, as well as major injuries to folks. So I'm someone who started with the first ciclovia that happened in Koreatown, and I've been supportive of it each and every time. We need to be able to utilize our public transportation, which is why I thought having free metro for all riders was a really good idea, because other countries do that and there's greater usage, because we really do need to limit the number of cars, vehicles out there. And I was an early adapter for EV vehicles. So I'm just happy to be able to say I will be someone you can count on to hear the wishes of the residents. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Grace. Okay, on to the council member, Heather.
Sorry about that. I was trying to unmute myself.
No worries.
So I'm currently, as the sitting councilwoman, chair of transportation, and we certainly have looked at traffic calming measures. That's why we increased what kind of speed humps are on the streets, because speed is a real problem, especially in the 10th district. I wrote a letter to Buttigieg to do a grant called Complete Streets and bought $9 million to La Brea so that we're able to repave and do a whole new street piece. I'm looking at the data right now on dedicated bus lanes on the La Brea piece so that we can determine if it's more reasonable. 64,000 cars a day go down La Brea, Tad, which is right near our homes. I want you to know that bicycle safety is really important to me. That's why I invested money in a feasibility study on the Bionda Creek bike lane so that we could extend it from the creek across Jefferson and down so that it could be fully connected and utilized by people who like riding bicycles. And recently during the holiday season, I gave away bikes in the 10th district because during the pandemic, we have children that have obesity and diabetes. I call it diabesity. And I feel like you need to start young and get out and exercise and certainly enjoy bicycles. So I'm not just talking about it. I've actually done work that's made a difference. And I'm building legislation so that we could go to the state representatives and really put pedestrian and bicycle safety in the DMV handbook because it's not there. And that driver's license need to include pedestrian safety and DMV safety because what we have now, people are ignoring. And so I'm serious about this. Vision Zero is sad. I get those every day to tell me where in our district we have lost another neighbor. And it's really unfortunate. So traffic calming measures are important. That's why we have the speed hump program and have been able to do it around schools. And that went through my committee. Bicycle safety is important. And we're also looking at a study to flip the bike lanes, right? Because some spaces in Los Angeles, you see the bike lane on the outside and parking is on the inside. And that's not really safe, in my opinion. So now we're looking at what the cost to flip it is so that the biker is safer on the interior, the driver parks on the exterior. Mm-hmm. So there are some things that are happening in City Hall that will make things safer, and I'm happy to be a part of that.
Thank you so much. Disa, I know we kind of ran over, but you were patiently waiting. So do you have a question that could be maybe answered quickly?
I just wanted to ask the candidates, maybe if you could say in one sentence what your philosophy of addressing homelessness is. I think it is disgraceful that our neighbors, that we have so many neighbors in our communities that are unhoused and not enough is being done. And I know you are inheriting this problem, this challenge. It's one that has built up for years for a lot of reasons, but just what is your philosophy about addressing the homelessness crisis that we face?
Ooh, that is not an easy question, Disa. All right, candidates, I will be fair because I believe in democracy and diplomacy, but do you have a 30-second wrap on kind of just a quick overview, a teaser, a taste, something to make us go chase your website to find out more? Who would like to go first? Please raise your hand and I'll give you 30 seconds. My timer app is not working anymore, but I'm going to watch it on my phone, okay? So I see Heather, then I see Pastor Eddie, and then I see Grace, and then I'll come. Okay, Aura. So go ahead, Councilmember Heather. 30 seconds.
I'm already doing it. I have a team that goes out every single day and speaks to people that are homeless. We are finding that people are in tents and they have vouchers. I'm already moving people into housing. It's a priority of mine. And it has been since I got here. And I've been able to house hundreds of people and the data is there to prove it. So I'm already doing that work and will continue to do that work because it hurts my heart how many women and children that have suffered domestic violence that are living in tents. We had 2 tents right on La Brea. You guys all saw them. That was a woman and her daughter. Now they're in housing. I don't mean just bridge. They have a key to the door and the daughter has a job.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Heather. Okay, then on to Pastor Eddie.
Yeah, so thanks for the question. So I experienced homelessness while pastoring my church, and I also serve in the committee for Black people experiencing homelessness for the county and the city. So the reports that you see around safe inside safe, that kind of stuff, that came from our report. So we did the study. So that's number one. Number two, I'm the only service provider that's running for office. And so I've been housing people for the last 5 years and help people get there. And so it's coordination, care first, coordination on the city, in the county level, care first, so making sure wraparound services are given to folks. And then also on the back end, make sure people can find ways to get jobs and move forward with mental health services, as well as the other provider services that they need. So I've been doing it for the last 10 years.
Thank you so much. Okay, Grace, you go ahead, 30 seconds.
Sure. You know, this is a national problem, but I say it's really local. I say it's time for the city to build the affordable housing that we've been requesting that we're not getting. It's just too slow. We need to speed it up. I'm all in favor of using prefabricated units to get it up faster. When they can do it in 6 months in Compton, I know the city of LA can do it too. They're building units right now, 100% low income. I love it. And I would love to do the same for our district. And I know I can count on our pastors and our religious institutions and people who are doing good. We can just bring it all together so that we can house people, give them the services that they need.
Thank you.
And just one more, right? You're muted, Vice President.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the chair.
Oh yeah, sorry. Sorry.
Ahead,
I was talking and my cat was meowing right now. Go ahead.
I just want to say, friends, that nothing that everyone, all the other candidates have mentioned is not something that we have tried yet. So you asked for my approach to homelessness. My approach to homelessness is tackling the problem where it's at, not where I wanted it to be. A lot of people are not ready to be housed because they have drug addiction. They have high trauma. There were people that are former veterans that were trafficked, women that are running away from difficult situations. We cannot treat all of our homeless and house folks the same way. So housing everyone sounds great, but it might not be the solution for everybody. We need more mental health facilities. We need more drug prevention and drug addiction services for people, because we see every day a lot of our unhoused folks suffering from the disease, which is addiction. And I hear these and I see it all the time. So yes, housing first sounds great. Partnering up with churches, amazing. Absolutely.
Thank you, Ara. We kind of ran over our time. Okay, so
Gina, can I just make a closing comment? May I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it was very useful. Exactly what I and the club envision. And I would like to say that while I am not taking a public position on this race, for much like for many of us, the U.S. Senate race with Adam Schiff and Barbara Lee, 3 people who we all adore. I feel the same after this past half hour with the 4 of you. We just have seen 4 people who are passionate and committed and have really thoughtful ideas about the future of our. And I look forward very much to all 4 of you contributing to the future of our city and our world.
Thank you.
And thanks so much.
Yes, thank you to all of our candidates for coming. Like I said, Culver City, we're your neighbor, and our lines are blurred, right? So we look forward to working closely with CD10, and then I also look forward to talking more with you, continuing to be involved with you guys. We'll be doing our endorsement, like I said, via Election Buddy, and we'll have the results. So we'll be notifying, the candidate if we have an endorsed candidate, later this week, hopefully by tomorrow, but if not, Friday. Okay. So thank you guys so much for joining us. We really appreciate your presence. And with that being said, because I'm running 8 minutes into our business portion of our meeting, I wanted to go ahead and call the meeting, our business portion of our meeting, to order now at 8:08. Shannon, are you around to document that? Yes, I see Shannon's here. Shannon.
8:08.
Yay, okay. So I'm going to also stop recording now.